Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Chris Black. I am Jason. Today is Thursday, aka Friday. Chris, how are you?
Oh man, I'm great. It's a beautiful day in LA today. Both of us are camped inside doing our little work thing.
Yeah, man.
You know, unfortunately, I'm not outside on the tennis court. I'm not tanning. I'm not at the beach.
Are you able to take little outdoor breaks though and get a little vitamin D Joe Rogan style?
You already know I'm getting that hard vitamin D every time I get a chance, bro.
Good.
Yeah, I'll choke on the vitamin D if you let me.
That's all you need. I was gonna say that's all you need to cure COVID, but then you mentioned choking on the vitamin D, and I now I sense that you're feeling a little more cat-like and spicier than normal, so I have to kind of readjust today's game plan to a saucier strategy.
When am I not feeling spicy, Jason? You've known me for a long time. I'm a pretty spicy cat.
Yeah, but you know, much like the Scoville scale, there is a spice spectrum, Chris.
That's a good point.
We have to recalibrate a little bit, which is exciting. This is what we call in the industry a good problem.
I understand. Okay, because I am feeling a little funny today after receiving my first dose of the cursed COVID-19 vaccination.
So you're a vaxxed up shorty, is what you're saying.
Unfortunately, yeah, I had to. Look, I'm not exaggerating. Once they announced that travel to Europe would require the card, I went and scheduled an appointment that day. I'm not even being funny. So
no, I mean nobody thinks that you're speaking facetiously at all. I mean, more people are still in shock that you got the ouchie at all, but you know, this is progress. The Gone effect.
I hate to waste our valuable podcast time on vaccination talk because it is the lowest form of conversation. It has taken over weather talk.
Unless you got the vaccination. I'm a little more interested in what's going down.
I went to a local CVS location on Cahuenga.
Oof, dirty.
It was nice and dirty. But again, process was smooth, baby. I was in and out. And of course, I didn't wait the full 15 minutes because it was a little antsy, so I did make it 10 minutes in the chair. I did not go into shock or have a seizure.
Okay, so after you got it, because it was different. When I got it, I was in the car, so we were physically blocked. Like there was a roadblock that wouldn't let us drive out of there and we were locked in for whatever, 15, 20, half an hour. I don't know. So, but when you're at CVS, you're able to just walk out of there if you want to, Patriot style.
Yeah, I mean, as a patriot, I did a combo, Jason. You know what I mean? I sat for long enough to know I'm not going to die, and then I hopped in the whip and zoomed over to Larchmont Boulevard to get a celebratory cold brew.
You checked all your vitals; everything seemed on the up and up. Blood pressure was good.
Yeah, I looked at my Apple Watch health application, and it said you're not going to die. Get in the car.
Don't tease me like that, Chris. Even though the Apple Watch does have that feature, I still don't believe you. I think you might be making that up, Chris.
Oh, I might be kidding. I'm sorry, I'm bad. But yeah, so that's it. So now, you know, Didn't sleep well. I'm feeling a little groggy today. My workout was unfortunately not a 10 of 10.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you weren't expecting to hit some PRs today anyway, I'm assuming.
I was not expecting to hit some PRs today. I mean, tomorrow morning I'm seeing my temporary trainer, Ryan, at 7:15 a.m., a nice early call.
You know, we know so much about our favorite trainer in the world, Hunter, but I don't know if we know anything about this new floozy that you've dug in off the streets. Chris, is there... run me through just a little hit list. I need a scene report of this man's body, his training practices.
I've only worked with him.
And also his mental.
I've only worked with him a few times, but so far so good. I mean, his training style is like no rest, which I kind of like. So he leaves me absolutely gassed. We're, of course, focusing on the back, chest, and abs. Leg day is kind of my own thing.
Leg day is my own thing. That's a red flag in the industry.
Well, no, I do a series of rack squats as well as deadlifts, just on my own time because I only see Ryan Monday and Friday. So, he's like a good looking early 40s, salt and pepper. Been doing it a long time. I believe he played college football.
So basically, me if I had some grace, which I don't.
Yeah, exactly. You don't
a
have
little shorter.
Yeah, of course, a little shorter, but who isn't?
Yeah,
but so far the energy is high. I like it. He's got the knowledge, but I mean, the no rest thing is I just feel like I'm absolutely getting every ounce of juice squeezed out of me.
And you guys don't discuss any nutrition stuff. It's only body.
Yeah, I think nutrition's extra. You know what I'm saying? that ain't on the menu. No, I don't think. I mean, I think some people care about that. I mean, I think some trainers are good at that. Some trainers are not, or not even good. I think it's like care or focus on it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's understood. Like, don't eat like shit, or this ain't gonna work, King. Which I respect.
There are some people where you can't eat like shit and it works though, but we are not those people.
Well, this summer, Jason, once your knee is rehab, baby, we're gonna be out in these streets because I mean, I need to see you back in top physical form, and I'm here to help usher the new TJ era into existence.
Oh, really? I do need some help.
I know you do.
I have a bunch of equipment on my Amazon wish list that I can't afford. Please, sir, if you're able to.
I think you're supposed to post that in your bio, and then an older gentleman will buy that for you in hopes that he can have sex with you later. I think that's how that works.
Look, I can't take any money out of Callaway's pocket, though, Chris.
Oh God.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time because you found us through our good friend CC Caroline Callaway, welcome.
Go ahead and turn it off now because you're gonna hate it.
No.
Okay.
We will bring a few more people on. Does her fan base have a name like the Swifties or
I'm not totally clear on that. Actually, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't do my.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that they don't have a name at all, but I was just hoping that they might have a fun little pun, you know?
I'm sure we could find that out if we took
Cowgirls, something like that.
Oh, I like what you did there. Jason, you're so smart, man. Have you ever thought about doing some agency work on the branding side of things?
Well, I've said it before. I am a specialist in light load ideation.
Light load sounds like your gym approach, so you better watch it.
If you're in the market for some inconsequential research,
but yeah, otherwise we're gonna get you fit. There's a new Billie Eilish song that someone described as David Graycore, which is very interesting to me.
David Graycore. I haven't. Yeah, I mean, she looks good in the new photo, though.
I don't really like the look. It's a little too 50s pinup for me. But I do. I guess I like that she's blonde.
You like the green a little bit more?
I don't like the green. That's for fucking sure. Chris is anti.
So you prefer the hair color? You like to switch to blonde, but you don't love the fact that it's sort of like a 50s. The aesthetic of the photo, the art direction of the photo, you disagree with me.
I just don't love when like you're not Bowie. I'm just not into like the full switch of shtick for every album. I just don't believe it from someone like her. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, are there any modern people who you do believe it?
Not really. No. I mean, I guess I mean, it's also I can't think of other people who do it. That this is like such an obvious one. Like
everyone does. I mean, Gaga does it.
Gaga, I believe it. That's a good point. Gaga.
Katy Perry does it. The width of her dreads varies with every album.
That's a good point. She changes the dreads. She dip dyes them every once in a while, but
there's tons of variation. Willow Smith. She's in her new metal phase. Everyone's doing it.
I don't believe any of those except Gaga, a true artist, the most important artist of our generation, some would say.
Yeah, I agree. She's a master.
I mean, I love Gaga in every phase, but I really loved her in her, I of course loved her in her acoustic Mark Ronson phase, which others did not seem to enjoy as much. Joanne Hive, stand up.
That comes as no surprise.
I don't believe Billy, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to listen to the song, but I'm going to save that for How Long Gone Radio every Saturday on Spotify.
That's right. Believe it or not, it's better than wearing some airbrush Gucci basketball shorts, though, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I mean, her looks were some of the worst of all time, and so I can only hope that period is over. But who knows? Maybe the hair is blonde and the looks are different, but the looks are still bad. That's possible.
Yeah, does that period have a name? Like how an art movement might?
Oh, I thought you like the Expressionist period or the Blue period. Or I thought you meant like before Christ and after death is more how I would.
Honestly, either apply.
It's true. It's really true. But the thing is, no matter what we think about Billie Eilish's clothes, hair, or music, she will continue to rake in millions and millions of dollars from her dedicated fan base, and we will just continue to podcast.
And we will continue to rake in 5 and 6 figures. Don't worry, Chris.
Yes,
it's nothing
exactly.
to sneeze at.
No, it's nothing to seize at. These Whole Foods bills have to get paid. You know what I mean? Somehow.
Yeah, and and thanks to Biden, she's just going to get taxed more. We're really the winners in the end of the day.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't watch Biden's little speech last night. We can talk about that with our guests, though, because people were talking about it.
We'll talk about it. Well, I want to with our guests, I mainly want to talk more about and kind of dive deeper into Billy's evolution, not only musically but also aesthetically.
Yeah, our guest today is my buddy, an Atlanta local, Charles Bethea, who is a staff writer at the New Yorker.
What a Southern name, you know what I mean?
It's very cool. He does some deep investigative reporting. A lot of that centers on kind of like politics in the South, which obviously took center stage in the last year. Mm-hmm. He's done a bunch of Talk of the Town pieces. He also worked at Outside Magazine and lived in Santa Fe, which is a pretty wild thing to do at a young age. But yeah, anyway, he's contributed to Grantland, The New Republic, Wall Street Journal, GQ, Rolling Stone, and Wired. He likes Elmira much like I do. If you're in Atlanta, you already know the vibes.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, we didn't get to go there for a burrito, but it's the best. It's different than California, but some would say better.
Oh, so this is a restaurant?
No, it's a restaurant and artist. It's more of a bar that has food. You could still smoke in it until very recently.
My whistle is wet.
They're the inventor of the Grizz, which is that mini Corona with a tequila shot in the neck. Remember I told you about that?
What, are you sure they're the inventor?
No, they're definitely not. No.
Okay,
Actually, no.
Chris. That was the first time your virgin eyes saw this creation that was clearly not invented in the state of Georgia.
Unfortunately, that was introduced after I stopped drinking as well.
No shade to your fine state, but
it seemed like a little bit. It seemed like a little bit of shade, Jason.
Okay, well, we need it today. Well, let's give Charlie B a call. It looks like Chris isn't the only one with the Fauci fog.
I'm trying out a new thing with the bandanas here.
You don't have to put the mask on during the podcast, during your private
Okay,
home.
well, this is actually for style. I guess that wasn't obvious.
Oh, okay. Is that a vintage Charlotte Hornets bandana? It has the same color story.
I got it. You're right. It does look that way. I got it in New Mexico recently, and I don't know the story. It's just a good-looking bandana.
Are you using this as a mask substitute when you're out in public? Have you tried that yet? Because I didn't think that worked very well for me.
No.
I think this is simply cosmetic flair.
It is. And I just discovered finally a mask that doesn't fog my goggles, which I do wear when I go outside.
Dog fog.
These goggles.
Yeah, no, I understand. As I'm suffering from success as well with 4 eyes, and I have not found that, but at this point, I'm counting down the days so we don't have to wear a mask. So I'm not looking to purchase it. I'm not waiting to purchase any more. You know what I mean? I'm trying to wean off.
Yeah. In all seriousness, though, are you guys vaccinated?
We just talked about it. I just got mine yesterday, the first one.
Nice. How are you feeling?
Not great, but not terrible. I mean, I was going to put it off.
The world had to force his hand to get it, though. That's sort of the backstory on this.
I wasn't chomping at the bit, Charles, but I also knew that if I wanted to, dip my toes in the Mediterranean, then it was going to be required.
There's various menswear festivals that occur in parts of Europe, and if Chris isn't there, then what is life?
It didn't even happen.
Fair enough.
In order to hit various international airports. He had to do it, and that's what moved the needle.
Fair enough, man.
I just wasn't concerned. That was really what it was. It wasn't. I just was like, I'll get it when I get it. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm the least at risk person. I'm one of the very
He has a very sick body, so you understand that inside and out.
Sick, super sick. Yeah, I actually I had COVID. I don't know if I told you this, Chris. I had COVID in January. Not to take it down a notch here.
No. This is good. This is good. I can do 20 on that.
Were you fucked up?
No, it wasn't too bad. But my point in bringing it up is that when you get the vaccination, if you've had COVID, you may have heard this, it's a lot worse. It's sort of like, I don't know why, but it brings back not the full feeling of malaise, but like at least half.
I've heard that.
How bad did you feel, or was it okay?
I just felt like extra grumpy, tired.
You sound like Jason when he does this podcast with me. That's interesting. I the same side effects.
Some people think the lethargy is kind of hot, and I try to play that up.
I feel like we should see Jason. I like to look you in the eye, man, when we talk.
Yeah, he's a real journalist, Jason.
I keep my camera muted because I record on mine as well, just to.
It's cool. Just a real quick peep to see what you're wearing. Just to see what you're wearing.
Wow, he's in his tennis whites today.
I'm in my tennis whites today. I was just at the gym. Yeah, I realized working out at the gym with a polo shirt makes me feel real extra old and extra white.
No, that's very Euro to me. That's like the Euro guy shows up with the Montclair polo at the gym.
You're not helping.
I haven't set foot in the gym in a year. How was it? Have you been going?
I just joined like a week ago, and right now it's truly amazing. I know that it's going to be, there's like an expiration date on how amazing this is going to be, but when I go to the gym, it's like me and 7 other people in the whole entire gym. Like there's 50 treadmills, and it's me and 1 other person, and it's great. So that part, but wearing a mask while you're pumping that cardio sucks big dick.
Yeah.
It's truly impossible. It's like really bad. Like I did some wild dark days berries classes in New York where it was like wearing a mask on the it's just disgusting. It's just like people were wearing like plastic gloves on the treadmill and shit. It's like, this is just not how it's supposed to. This like doesn't work really. It is the reality. It just doesn't work.
Chris, you know obviously the belt line. Have you run on the belt line ever?
Oh, I ran it when I was in Atlanta for over the holidays. I ran it a couple times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
There's a guy who pre-pandemic was like the full Darth Vader.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
the Bane
like
mask.
The oxygen deprivation thing. I looked into it. It doesn't do anything except for make it harder to breathe. Like you don't get any benefit from it.
You don't develop cum gutters on your lungs. Is what you're saying?
No, 12 pack in my lungs.
My lungs are fucking shredded right now.
Well, I think it's like it's akin to altitude training, I would imagine, or that's the idea.
Does altitude training work?
No.
That's the argument. I looked into all this because I want to brag for a second. I've climbed a really big mountain. I climbed a 21,000 foot mountain once.
Oh yeah, and Chris climbed the mountain of sobriety, but you don't see him bragging about it.
Have you ever climbed out of a mountain of cocaine? Then we can talk later.
That's a lot harder.
Sorry.
I have not. I would like to hear about that.
So where was this mountain? Where was this mountain?
So you said 20,000 feet tall?
21,000. So it's the biggest volcano on Earth. It's in Chile.
Shit.
And so this is back when I did more travel writing. But before doing that, it was a sponsored trip. And before doing it, I was looking into these masks and like these oxygen deprivation chambers that you can sleep in, where you can simulate being at 20,000 feet. Those are like 20 grand. The masks are cheaper, but that's how I know the masks actually.
It's fake.
So what happens to you when you're at 20,000 feet? Is it truly harder to breathe?
Yes, it's really harder to breathe. And in my case, though, the greater concern was it was really cold. And as I wrote in the story about this trip, I was genuinely concerned that the tip of my dick was going to get frostbite.
Was that going to be frozen urine or semen?
Neither, just the flesh.
Just dick sweat. I'll just in order for something to freeze. So the flesh itself was going to freeze. It wasn't going to be
flesh. Yeah, frostbite.
It wasn't going to be a cum icicle. Is kind of where I was heading with that. Got it. Right. So you thought you were going to get frostbite on your dick.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of hard for me to fathom you taking it in the direction of cum, because when you're that high and that cold, it's really, really hard to get a boner.
Yeah.
Well, now you understand my line of questioning, don't you?
Is this mic on, by the way? Are we live?
Oh, we're very live. Yeah, this is what we live. This is what we live for. So
Okay, so difficult to maintain an erection is pretty much the only downside of altitude, is what we're saying, and the breathing gets a little tougher.
So I'm there. I've just to paint the sort of the heroic picture here
please.
of me. I was 1,000 feet away from the top. The rest of my crew, my brother and 4 friends, photographers, they'd all headed back because it was too fucking cold and windy. It was truly like, it was miserable, but I was there to write about it, and I didn't want to.
What was the story? What was the pitch on what was the pitch in the story? Just
so the pitch was riding like pushing a specialized mountain bike. They sponsored the trip, so pushing specialized bikes up the biggest volcano on Earth and then riding them down.
Shit, dude.
I mean, that sounds amazing, but to have to do that on a Specialized sounds tough.
They make great bikes. The mountain, though, turned out not to be ideal for mountain biking down. It was, like most volcanoes, very sandy and sooty, and you couldn't get much traction. But anyway, I'm the last guy heading up this thing with the guide who speaks basically just Spanish. I speak almost no Spanish. And at the time, and I'm trying to convey to him that I think my dick is about to freeze off. So I'm doing it just through, hand gestures. Mm-hmm. And he definitely understood what I was talking about, but gave me very little sympathy and just encouraged me to put like extra socks as padding around my crotch. Jesus. So that's what I did.
This does not sound like a pleasant ordeal, I will say.
It wasn't, but I'm talking about it now as a story. So.
Yeah, but you made it. So you made it through and you made it to the top.
I made it up, made it down, wrote about it, got to keep the bike.
What's the time frame on this? Like, how long did this take? Like the up and down?
So this was a 10-day expedition. So, I mean, it was real. Like,
okay, so you have 10 days worth of gear and you're also pushing a mountain bike the whole time?
Well, not exactly. So we set off from the nearest city in like the equivalent of Land Rovers with drivers and all of our gear. They drive us up to like 10,000 feet. We sleep a night there by a lake. We like acclimate there. We do the same thing every day. You go up 2,000 feet.
Okay.
But eventually the truck can't go all the way. So like the truck stops at like 14, which is, as high as any mountain in America. Stops there. We sleep. We try to sleep there. Sleep becomes like sort of sleep in quotes. Mm-hmm. And, like at that point, we still have 7,000 feet to walk with the bikes. So that takes place over the last 3 or 4 days.
Are the bikes like assembled, fully assembled, or you have it strapped to your back somehow? You're literally pushing it.
Literally pushing. I mean, they were obviously strapped in the vehicle, but it would have been really nice. Specialized had like a sweet mountain bike that broke into.
Yeah. That's what I was looking for.
You blow it up or something. But
would have been perfect for this application. Yeah. I did a little bit of very small altitude, like hiking around when I was in Bogota, and I did a lot of coca leaf action. Did you do any of that in the?
All right, we're circling back to cocaine
in the land of Chile.
Yeah. That we always do that here on the podcast.
I have. No, I have. That's legit. That works.
It really does work. I mean, I didn't like start buying packs of Parliament Lights and talking about starting a band. I was just like, I feel a little bit better.
Can you guys explain to me what I've never done that? You just put it in the back of your mouth and chew it, correct?
Yeah. You just sort of let it sit there like dip.
Shockingly, I have not dipped, or I really haven't. I always was told that if you mess up, it makes you really sick. Like if you swallow it, you just like throw up.
I mean, you get sick regardless whether you swallow it. It's pretty disgusting. I mean, the first few times. Have you tried it, Jason?
I've probably tried it once or twice, and like I didn't do it long enough to understand the whole process. Like I understand cigars now, but that took like 10 cigars to really like understand the enjoyment of it. With the dip, it was always just like, this is a hard sell. You know what I mean?
Well, with the cigar, at least with the cigar, like if you're doing it properly, you're not inhaling. But with the fucking dip, like you are swallowing.
But I
juice.
want to inhale. That's the problem. I'm always fighting against that.
He was taught to inhale.
Put something else in the cigar.
Yeah, you go 90% out and you keep 10% just for yourself. And then, advanced users can go 85-15. There's a whole Reddit thing as well.
I do love, getting when I land at Hartsfield Jackson and I'm walking through the terminal, I always catch a couple of Dr. Pepper bottles with a little sediment at the bottom that guys have. The thought of carrying a bottle of your own spit around, it's the same reason I will never have a dog. I'm not going to pick up shit off the ground. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
We saw that when we were traveling just a couple weeks ago when we went to Indianapolis. There was a pack of good old boys waiting to get on the next flight to fucking whatever, and somebody dropped their Dasani that was a quarter full of brown. And I'm like, bro, you can't just hang out in the airport for 38 minutes without dipping. Like,
dude, the
isn't that illegal?
The attempted surreptitious little dip move. It's just like such a weird move.
Yeah.
It is. It's obvious. You can't hide it because it's weird. Like, what are you doing with your little move towards the thing that's not drinking it?
Yeah, no, true. When I see you dip your head, no pun intended, and move towards a bottle, I expect to see a tip up versus a continue to lean down.
Yeah,
so it is a process.
Right. So we keep watching. Watching.
Exactly. Jason and I went to. I don't know. Have you been to the middle of America in a while? When's the last time you ventured to the center?
I drove through the exact center. I don't know where that is, but I drove through the center 6 months ago.
Yeah, we hadn't.
Probably.
Jason and I went to Indianapolis to check on our coffee production, and there was a layover in Phoenix and Dallas. One on the way there, one on the way back.
Yeah.
And I just really hadn't seen, I hadn't been in like a busy airport full of like Blue Lives Matter types in a very long time. And Jason and I were both a little spun out, I think. Just like, it was overwhelming to see that many t-shirts with, what Jason, we saw some real highlights.
The branded t-shirts were on the armband. It's like two flags and like two guns as like a skull and crossbones, but the bones are like AR-15s, and the skull is like a flag with, like a certain amount of stars that lets you know the time that America was good in their minds. And it'll just say like, I wish a motherfucker would try and take this, or like, come and take this one, Joe. Or
you'd think they'd be excited about adding one more star to the flag. Why are they not?
Yeah, that is
more stars.
That is confusing. That seems
There's such a thing. It kind of messes with the feng shui, if you ask me. Back in the 1700s, when it was just a ring of 11.
That was beautiful.
That was my America,
that was beautiful. I agree.
But it's a quantity thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't we just want more? America, we want more.
We want more.
More stars.
Yeah, for
more
America,
stripes.
that's true.
But those,
give us more.
It was just an interesting, because I guess that like I forget that there's places in America that have people like the South that are not the South. Do you know what I mean? Like that is a type of person.
Yeah.
And I think it may be even worse in Arizona now, I'm realizing. Like Arizona might be crazier than I ever anticipated, because I've never been there.
It's almost like we live in a silo over here in LA and New York.
It's crazy, bro. You're right. I know. It's crazy.
It costs twice as much to live in this beautiful bubble, and I never want to fucking leave it.
That's what we're paying extra for. I do think there's some truth to that. You
guys need a red state correspondent.
We do need a red state correspondent. That's
kind of what this call's about, Charlie.
Oh shit! No, whoa! You clearly haven't read my work, because it's recently turned purple. It's recently turned purple, my man.
So what does purple mean to you exactly?
Periwinkle, lavender.
No, I understand that it's a color. I mean the combination. So because
what is purple? That's a great question. Oh no, I mean I know about the purple because I'm from Orange County, and it's been always a super red area. Yeah. And then because of a lot more of the immigrant population, younger people, more liberals, and it switched over. And it's like, it's purple when it's like, it's a red, but it's blue, but it's like, it's a blue invading on the red.
Is that what it means? Basically, that blue is encroaching on red and making headway. Is that what purple, that phrase in this case means?
Yeah, I'm not a chemist or whatever, the expert on.
We're speaking politically, though.
Yeah. No, I was trying to
guess. Yes. I think, I've had like serious conversations about this very question. I mean, people are really excited to say that Georgia's a blue state now, but that's obviously not true.
Yeah.
Like both recent elections were incredibly, incredibly close, and arguably could have gone the other way here. So it's a state that it's a toss-up state. It is definitely trending blue, So I think we can say it's not a red state anymore, but to call it blue is to be kind of a little optimistic, Pollyanna.
Yeah, you won a game, you didn't win the series.
Yes, thank you. Sports metaphors.
Wow, Jason, I
We're
forget.
really into sports.
I forget that you know anything about sports or metaphors, for that matter. No, you love metaphors. You're a proven metaphor cat.
That's pretty much all I've got, actually.
That is true. I guess I didn't. The term purple. I feel like people just kind of skip over that. That's why I wanted some clarity. I feel like you're saying, most people just go straight.
Purple's my color, man. It's also my color.
Yeah, me too.
What?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I never had a favorite color when I was a kid. And when you're a child, everyone asks you those dumb questions like, "What's your favorite color? How old are you? Whatever." And
it's a great question.
And I'd always say purple because I had to give I was sick of saying I don't know, and people would give you a funny look when you say I don't know.
Yeah.
Grape flavored candy was my favorite candy, and it was always purple. So,
bro,
I just
what?
started saying purple, and
go.
now I identify it with the purple.
Purple
mafia.
candy was your favorite? That is fucked up, man.
That's weird. Do you use the grape flavored blunt wrappers too?
Great question.
Charles, hell yes. Hell yes, Charles. That's a sweet smell I never get sick of.
But Jason has been to a quick trip. I think I'm the first person to take him to one, but I don't know if purple might be the worst possible flavor. If I had to pick one I don't want, I think purple would be up there.
Wait.
No way. So you get a roll of Starbursts or a square of Starbursts. There's red, there's yellow, there's blue, there's purple, there's green.
Purple
is not at the bottom.
Purple is last.
Well,
Actually, green might be last because that's usually an apple flavor, which I also find disgusting. But purple, no, red is always number one, and then pink is obviously second, the cousin to red, and then we just go down from there.
I'm with you.
And then we just go down from there.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a basic person. You know, I want to zig instead of zag.
This is not about.
I didn't get into this life to.
But in your heart, you are who you are, man.
Exactly, Jason.
Yeah. I've always wanted to take a different path, just like the Specialized mountain bikes that I enjoy every day.
Man, I hope Specialized. They're getting more plugs right now than they did after
that story.
After I wrote the.
We've done more for big Specialized than your article ever did.
Did you do a bunch of, when you were at Outside, did you do a bunch of crazy shit like that? Was it a lot of like experiential kind of like participatory journalism?
That was like what I was really hoping to do. That was my goal. Like that was the
Instead you had to write about fishing shirts twice a month. Is that?
Did mostly data entry, actually, a lot of spreadsheet stuff, mostly admin work.
I was like really excited when I got the opportunity to like field test some trekking poles.
Yeah.
Like that was super. I was stoked about that. Lakey, if you want to know, Lakey, Leki are the best trekking
I've
poles.
never, unfortunately, in my daily commuter life, I don't have a lot of need for trekking poles, but I do see people using those on hikes here in LA that you could do on your hands and knees. So I don't really understand why they have them, but it seems like it's just an affectation.
No, I think there's a legitimate reason. Like I hiked the humble brag here. I hiked the whole Appalachian Trail when I was. It's not a humble brag, it's just a brag, I guess. When I was 20 years old, and I did use the poles, and like I talked to a lot of folks out there who use them across that whole journey. Yeah, and they save it. If you're older, like they really save your knees.
Jason, you hear that? This might be good. This might be good for you.
A lot of weight off your knees.
Jason, you need to get some of these for the mall.
Even if you're just kind of doing some flatline cross country stuff, if you're just going to be walking a long time, those help you just save some of those balancing muscles just to keep you upright.
I wouldn't. I mean, unless you're carrying a lot of weight in your back, I don't think you need them for a flat walk.
Yeah.
But if you're going up and like the AT is pretty up and down, rocky, and like I have like kind of shitty ankles, and so they help sort of keep me upright.
Let's talk about this little, because my brother-in-law, his big claim to fame is he hiked the Appalachian Trail. He loves to bring it up.
Can I get you to say Appalachian with me?
Appalachian?
You said Appalachian. You said Appalachian.
What am I supposed to say?
Appalachian.
Appalachian is what you say if you're from south of the Mason-Dixon.
Oh, shit.
Appalachian. So you've just spent a lot of time north of the Mason-Dixon.
Damn, I understand.
Saying.
Thank you for bringing me back down.
You're going to have to excuse my city folk co-host here.
But did you do this alone?
Appalachian.
Did you do it alone?
I did.
So
I did, but that's like the first question people have. But it's like you're always out there with tons of other people, so it's not you don't.
It's like going to Coachella alone. You're going to find some buddies.
You're going to meet.
It's just like Coachella.
You're going to meet friends on the trail.
Another tough word to pronounce as well, Charles.
That's a good point.
Coachella.
What was so was this a physical and spiritual journey, or was this a finding yourself moment, or was this just like, I want to prove that I can do this?
I think he was doing it for college credits, probably.
No, not college credits. I mean, just trying to I was just a little bored after my sophomore year, and had read Bill Bryson's book, A Walk in the Woods, and was like, if this fat guy can do half of it, I can do the whole thing. So yeah, I mean, I hoped there would be some sort of spiritual reward. I don't know that I really got one. It felt it was awesome to be in nature for that long, for 4.5 months.
How long? I was about to say 4.5 months.
Also,
is a long
the
time.
masochistic
4.5 months.
Yeah, and that was moving quick. Actually, I was doing 20 miles a day.
20 miles a day,
bro. Shit, what were you eating, fam? Cliff Bars?
Not enough, man. So I'm not enough. I was eating a lot of ramen noodles. So I'm a skinny dude. You met
me. Yeah. You're a slim cat.
170. I'm 175 pounds, 6'2". I got down.
Okay, now you're showing off. Okay, so 6'2", 175 pounds. We get it. Okay.
So you started off skinny, then you dropped another 20.
I'm just dropping stats, man.
So why ramen noodles and not some goo, baby?
Because I was 20 years old and I didn't know what I was doing. Ramen noodles are cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't read up enough, but by the end I was eating blocks of cheese like candy bars.
What?
Okay, when you're on this trail, are there outposts that you can buy more items and food?
They're called towns, and you do run across them periodically.
Okay. If you couldn't tell, I have not done the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, at least you're saying it right.
Okay, yeah, right. So you'll do, I'm going to do a week, and I'm out here in the wilderness, just me and the big man upstairs, and then you'll stumble upon
you're following a guidebook, and
it'd be like, look on the horizon, a Bojangles is around the corner, and then you'll go down into town.
Bojangles,
I'm sorry.
I nerded out. I had my whole thing planned out where I had food drops at post offices.
Oh, that's good.
That I would, I sent myself food ahead, and that worked for the first few months. But I got kind of tired of the food I'd prepackaged, and so I stopped doing that and just kind of improvised. Mm-hmm. Going to towns, go to the all-you-can-eat buffet. In the AT data book, you learn the abbreviations. So all you can eat is AYCE. Mm-hmm. ACE. I came to love seeing that one in my data book.
So hold on, this data book, this is something this is user generated content that's been put together by.
No, it's got an author. It's got a byline. Okay. It's just one guy.
It's kind of a hiker's almanac for this.
Essentially, yeah, but it's super small. You can fit it in your pocket. Like ounces and fractions of ounces become incredibly important when you're out there because you don't want to be carrying all this weight, right? So you get the smallest guidebook you can. You rip out the pages when you're done with them. You throw them away. You burn them.
Oh shit! I like that.
Hack your toothbrush in half, man.
Really?
Everything has at least two purposes. Dental floss is both for your teeth and also for stitching up things that rip.
Yeah. So this is like me trying to shave some seconds off my quarter mile.
Sure. Yeah.
Every ounce counts.
Yeah. What do you run your quarter in?
He does not run. He looks like an ostrich with his head cut off if he starts running. He does shave.
I'm talking about the Model 3, not me running.
He does shave he shaves his legs, but he doesn't swim.
I took all the seats out, the whole thing.
So I don't understand that to shave time, but time, no pun intended again. But
dude, that's crazy.
I didn't shave my legs, but
I guess this all makes sense.
That reminds me of the hobo language for people who are train hoppers, and they'll have the little markings on every town. You get off on the stop, and there'll be etchings and posts of this is a house where the people who live here will give you food and drink.
Yeah.
And here's bathrooms and don't go to this town. They hate you here.
You're actually dead. You're dead right. Because it is important to know you do cross very close to some people's backyards who don't actually really enjoy seeing these hikers coming through, some of whom are idiots and drunk. And
so tell us where you started and where you finished, city wise.
Georgia to Maine, the whole thing, Georgia to Maine.
Okay, you did, but I didn't know if you started
Georgia to Maine.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, man, it's a long way. That's 4.5 months. So it starts about an hour and a half drive north of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So Springer Mountain, Georgia.
Yeah. Okay, I've been there. I've actually been there before.
Nice. Yeah, it's a nice little mountain. and it goes from
that little mountain. That's cute for you, Chris.
Nice
that little cute mountain. That's nice for you. That's cute for you.
Well, the AT is full of cute little, like none of them are very big. They're all less than 6,000 feet. So they're not anything like out west, but it's just constant up and down.
Yeah.
So it's more cumulative elevation gain than you would think.
Yeah.
Even though you're not really peaking out, like you never need the oxygen tank.
So I need to talk about your mental state, because this sounds like a more, I mean, physically, of course, but at a certain point, at least for me, physical stuff, I can just like push through it a lot of the time. Like unless my body like totally breaks down on me, I can just kind of like make myself do it and have the fortitude. But I mean, are you lonely, or are you just linking up with other hikers to mob out? Like, what's the vibe on a day-to-day basis?
Is there a dating app for people on the trail?
Yes.
There probably is now. I mean, so I did this just before smartphones existed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just you and your Nalgene and your Razor on the trail.
Not even a razor, man. It's bigger than that thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of an introvert, and I don't mind being alone.
Yeah.
And so to the degree I was alone, that was actually fine. I made some friends, but I was hiking at such a pace that like I wasn't the fastest dude out there by any means. There were people blowing by me, but like I was going at a pace where I didn't like go naturally with a lot of other people's sort of pace.
I see what you're saying.
You know, you don't want to force it. You don't want to just like be on somebody's heels for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Or have somebody on yours. So like you go at your own pace, and you kind of like, you see people where you see them in town when you're doing your laundry or whatever. You just, what's up? So I'm actually only in touch with a couple people from that trip still. I mean, it was, 15, 17 years ago. I definitely got a little lonely. I had a girlfriend at the time in college who came and met me for conjugal visits once a month. Nice.
That is really lit. Hey, babe, I got you an AirTran ticket to Tennessee. If you just want to come through, that'd be great.
I'm gonna be in New Hampshire sometime in August.
yeah.
Let me get some hits.
I mean, it was kind of like I was going to payphones usually, because I never had service on my cell phone. Going to payphones, calling her and being like, "Hey, I'm like 2 or 3 days away from X, Y, or Z. Can you show up, and can you bring your mom's lasagna?"
Wow.
Damn, that's love.
She was Italian, and she was very loyal to me, and it didn't work out. But
well, that's because you had a side chick, and it's called the Trail, and that's what happened.
I'm seeing somebody, babe. Her name's Mother Nature.
She did try to dissuade me from doing it before I
bet she did.
I decided to do it.
You don't have to do this, right?
Well, I met her after I'd already decided and bought the data book. So
you're saying what? So for example, if
the data book is not cheap.
If I trick Jason into buying the data book, he just has no choice but to do it. That's the trick.
It's my relationship to commitment.
I like that. I think that's strong. Is there anything comparable to this on the West Coast? Like, is there something similar, or is it? It's
the John Muir Trail?
So there is the Muir Trail, which is a bit shorter, and that's actually part of the larger Pacific Crest.
It's not a competition.
Part of the Pacific Crest Trail is longer than the AT. It's like 3,000 miles. That's the one that was made famous by about a woman who finds herself on the trail. It's actually a really good movie.
I think you're talking about Eat, Pray, Love, which I have seen. I didn't realize that was.
No, it's called Wild. It's called Wild.
Oh yeah.
Wild.
That was big. It was Reese Witherspoon. She was like nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
For that. Okay. I didn't.
What I'm saying.
I didn't realize that's what that was about. So So it's the same. It's the same kind of thing. But does the weather make a big difference because of the heat, or is it go? It's mostly Northern California.
No, it's a whole different set of challenges. I mean, you do deal with a lot more loneliness on that trail because it doesn't go through as many towns. The East Coast obviously is packed with people and towns, and like it's hard to get away from it for better or worse. In the West, like you're going through long stretches without seeing people. You need water caches, so like. You're looking at your version of the data book, and like you're relying on water being dropped in certain parts of the desert where there's just no water to be found.
Over here in California, ain't nothing but steers and queers, brother. It ain't easy.
That is really fucking wild, man. I just don't.
It is.
I'm really not a guy who likes the outdoors. I'm not compelled to spend any time outside, really, unless it's by a pool or an ocean, maybe.
Are you two with nature?
I am two with nature. I am not one with nature. No, exactly. Yeah. But I find it really I just find that I would say the struggle and the kind of conquering aspect to it is very interesting to me, because I feel like there's no way to replicate that with like physical fitness or the other things that I would do to kind of satiate that need. So I think it's the draw to do that. Like, did your dad do this? Like, how did you, like, why?
No, like me and my brother are both kind of this way. He's surpassed me, I would say, in terms of like a thirst for this kind of stuff. But our father is like a very like super soft luxe stuff.
Hell yeah, my man. So,
which I mean, I do too, but like, you know, it's hard days, soft nights, or whatever.
Wow, okay.
That was the tagline for like the editors at Outside Magazine who like to go out hard during the day and then, you know, show up at like an eco resort.
Do you think that? I mean, we're about to see if we're not already in the midst of like a big boom for that industry and this kind of stuff, correct? Because people are kind of like need that more than ever now, like to connect with nature. Is that a real thing?
Which thing, the eco resorts or the trails?
No. The eco resorts are never going anywhere. I just mean like being outdoors in general. I feel like this stuff's going to get bigger than it ever has been.
I feel like it will if people are if it's true that people are leaving cities for a number of both real and maybe imagined concerns. Then they're gonna be going places that are closer to nature.
People keep saying these people are leaving the cities, but then you look at LA real estate market prices and they are not. It seems like there's a high demand to be here.
For sure. And Atlanta too. I mean, Atlanta's it's crazy right now.
I didn't realize that. But I mean, it makes sense. I guess it's every city is probably experiencing that.
Oh, it's pretty much crazy everywhere at this point.
Yeah. Don't look down at Atlanta, Chris. That's where you come from.
I would never. I don't need to purchase a home. Oh, you know, we need to clear up an argument real quick that Jason and I were having before you joined us.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Elmire, a beloved Atlanta establishment that Jason came to Atlanta during the holidays, and we didn't have a chance to go there. And the Grizz, which is a mini Corona with a shot of tequila poured into the neck. Where that is not original to Elmire, obviously. Where do you think that was birthed? Do you have any background on that?
I'm sorry, I would just be guessing. I have no fucking clue.
I was trying to give them
idea.
It's got to be somewhere, you know, a Cabo San Lucas resort, a place where
sounds like it.
Sammy Hagar frequents.
Yeah.
Or maybe an area near San Diego, I would say, because it has to have a little bit of an American twang to it. Corona's more of an American beer than a Mexican beer at this point.
But Chris, you're saying otherwise?
No, I'm saying that I first witnessed it at Elmire, but I imagine that the history is much richer than that. Jason now suggesting that rich history is Sammy Hagar in San Diego, which is not, maybe rich isn't the word I would use, but interesting maybe is the word.
The rich history of miniature Corona bottles for cocktail mixology purposes, Chris?
Well, the first time
that dates almost all the way back to 1996.
The first time I went to the islands, I don't know where I was, but I was like, why are these beers so fucking small? I was like 20, and they're like, oh, it's because it gets so fucking hot. Like, we literally make them smaller because it's so hot that you if you have a regular 12-ounce beer or whatever, it'll get warm by the time you finish it if you're not guzzling.
Actually, I never heard that before.
Compelling.
That is compelling.
Jason, you're not the only one that's an influencer in the food and beverage space. So just understand that I do have some product knowledge when it comes to the food and beverage space.
You're no stranger to tipping them back.
I'm gonna get real quiet if we go down the mixology train here, because I don't know a lot about making drinks. I tend to drink recently these little canned cocktails. I don't know if that's cool or not.
What brand are we talking about? On the Rocks?
I'd have to go to I'd have to go check
fine.
Like Tip Top maybe.
Oh yeah. That's the one with the nice packaging, right? It's like a cool can.
It's really cool. And it's actually really well done. Like $5. I tend to do the old fashions.
We're not mixology people on this podcast whatsoever. So don't worry.
Okay. Cool. All right. It's starting to feel awkward.
Well, I mean, Chris doesn't drink at all. And I mean, I do, but I have to, you know, do it about once a week at this point. I had to really pump the brakes.
Well,
I was not able to reacclimate into the world just quite yet.
Now I'm uncomfortable being the one who drinks the most.
Yeah, well, that's what we were going for.
3 or 4 drinks a week, which usually doesn't put me in that category. But
well, you can be okay because you're still in much better shape than the both of us combined, most likely. So
yeah, you're fine.
Enjoy those cocktails.
It's only vanity based. It's the calories. It's not about sobriety. For Jason, it's definitely calories. He's got to watch everything because he hurt his knee, so he's not able to move very much right now. And I'm kind of having to stay on top of his diet. You know what I mean?
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, don't worry. I had a whole bowl of steamed vegetables for dinner last night, Chris.
Damn, I'm proud of you, fam. That's good because I feel like that's hard for you to do because you're such a surgeon in the kitchen. There's so many options available to you that steamed vegetables is like a bowl of cereal to a layman.
You know, you've seen like the chef movie when the chef comes home from his big day at the Michelin restaurant. He just wants to come home or she and make a nice PB&J, a macaroni and cheese. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So how'd you hurt your knee? You weren't using your poles, I guess.
Exactly.
No, I kind of hyperextended it playing tennis a couple months ago, and it just never. I didn't rest it, and I just kind of kept playing through the pain.
Yeah.
And then it kind of became like a persistent thing that wouldn't go away. And now I'm doing like I stopped playing tennis completely. I haven't played for like a month at least, and I'm doing acupuncture and a bunch of rehab stuff and knee injury workouts and stretches and all that shit.
So are you familiar with tennis elbow?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Have you guys had it? Because I think I might have it right now, even though I haven't played tennis in like 10 years.
Unfortunately,
I have an elbow
you might be getting it from too much typing, King. Those word counts are getting higher and your elbow's getting more painful.
How lonely are you out there, Charles, on the trail? You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to get a serious take on my elbow injury.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. Yeah, I've had tennis.
What does tennis elbow feel like? What does it feel like?
I get a little pain on the inside of my elbow when I'm doing pull-ups or doing too much bench pressing.
I get a little bit of a strain kind of on the lower arm on the inside back right here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right around there.
I'm right in here. Yeah, I can't tell if it's bone or tendon or what. Like,
are you doing anything different?
I got a TRX system actually
nice.
a few months ago with my Condé Nast Fitness stipend.
Hold on. Now you're going to force me to give Jason
that sentence of words is very cool.
How long gone? I'm going to have to give Jason a how long gone fitness stipend now that you said that. But explain.
Equinox is not cheap, please.
Explain how that works because that's nice of them.
It's very nice. Yeah, it's one of the perks of finally being on staff as of a year or two ago. So they give us $300 per year to put towards whatever fitness thing.
That's not that covered a full that covered a full TRX kit though, right? That's like 150.
Yeah, just barely. Just barely.
That'll do a whole month at Equinox too. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got the nicer version of the strap, so it was like $225-$30. Yeah. Anyway, so I think my form sucked, and I did something when I was doing like the bicep curls or something where I fucked it up, and it's been 2 months now.
So you don't have tennis elbow, you have TR elbow.
Yeah.
I think once you figure it out, you play through the pain. I mean, because when I had tennis elbow, it was at the beginning of my tennis career, and it was only because of bad form. And then once I kind of corrected it, learned how to hit it properly, I haven't had tennis elbow in years.
Well, I played tennis for 20 years. I never got it playing tennis.
20 years. God.
Oh, you played that serious when you played like all growing up, like as a kid?
I played fairly seriously. Like I played probably my high point. I mean, I was number one on a shitty high school team.
Okay.
And then I went to college and like played practice squad with the guys there. But never like, wasn't really on the team.
How serious was it at college? Were those guys like really playing?
It was an Ivy League school, and like they're pretty serious in most of those schools.
They're pretty serious. They're pretty serious about everything. So yeah, I mean, tennis is part of everything.
Tennis, squash.
Does the Ivy League crowd enjoy the game of tennis?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
They're known to like a little tennis.
It's weird. Did they have clay courts at Brown?
The soft sports.
They didn't. That would have been cool though. They didn't have them in Rhode Island.
So you played. Pretty. Why aren't you getting back into it, or do you have some trauma attached to it?
I'd like to. I don't have any friends who play actually. Like I should make some friends who play, I guess.
Or at least get a good wall.
Yeah.
I was playing in Atlanta with a coach, and it was really great and like so affordable there. But there was a big kerfuffle with like the courts and who was managing them. It like switched hands while I was there. It was a lot of drama to like find one and get one. It was like the scheduling system was all fucked up. But speaking of booms, I mean, you should get back into it.
I think I will. I'm in my last year in my 30s, and like it's time to probably go back to the soft sports and stop playing all that contact.
We're
stuff.
gonna. Yeah, I know you're playing a lot of football. You know what I mean on the weekends, like full contact.
I do play a lot of contact basketball. Like I do like a rough game of basketball.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
I like to play some good. I like to play some pickup.
What kind of hooper are we? Are we a handler? Or are we a surgeon?
I mean, I'm a 3-and-D. I'm a 3-and-D kind of guy.
Yeah.
I got great length, incredible length.
For a 6'2" guy, you've got incredible length, is what you're saying.
I've got a 6'3" wingspan for a 6'2" guy.
Yeah, that's great.
Got it.
Where are you playing pickup? Where are you playing pickup ball?
I'm exaggerating a little. I played probably like last year was the last time I played in Candler Park.
Yeah, because I used to play.
I mean, no one's been playing.
I used to play in Atlanta, and it would just always devolve into like a fight. Like every single pickup game would devolve into a fight, and I just was like,
that's what Charles is talking about. He said he likes a full contact game, and that's exactly
true.
what he means.
I just broke too many rims, and people got mad.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they were like, this guy's got to stop. He's too
this
good.
3-and-D rim smasher. He keeps ruining every game. We have to write a letter to the city and have him install a new board every time.
At one point in time, I could grab rim, but I never threw it down. Never could throw it down.
Welcome to the club, baby. That's me, and I'm 6'9".
Yeah, Jason can't. Jason's vertical is 4.5 inches, and somehow he's still not able to put the ball in the hole.
4.5 soaking wet. But I am. I'm now that I'm following the basketball biologist, I'm learning all the tips and tricks on how to get my vertical up, and I'll be dunking again in no time.
So I did have a friend who years ago bought the shoes that were. Like, you guys seen these shoes that are supposed to help you with your vertical? Yes. Everyone I know who's gotten them, or I've heard of who's gotten them, injures themselves.
Yeah, because
like tears their calf muscle. Like you're these crazy looking.
I might as well be playing in some red bottoms.
That's you tearing your calf muscle trying to get a vertical when you're not a professional athlete is crazy.
The grind never stops, Chris. You wouldn't understand.
I didn't know you were such an athlete. I didn't know we were dealing with an athlete, an Ivy League tennis player.
I don't know a single thing about him, and I kind of knew that he was an athlete. I got that vibe.
Look, I crawled my way to the top of a mountain. I didn't make the college tennis team. I can't dunk. I'm a 3-and-D guy.
Sure. So, but you're further along than us because we discovered music, and skateboarding, and graffiti, and didn't revisit athletics until like 5 years ago. Once it was too late.
Yeah.
But one of my friends and our de facto tennis coach, he says that I'm just a waste. I wasted my size. You know what I mean? By not becoming an athlete, and I think about that every single day as I do my little lifting.
That's a typical short king take, though. You know, if I had $1 for every time a short person walked up to me and told me that, I wouldn't be talking to you fucking guys.
Chris, you're about 6 feet tall, aren't you?
He's 6'4".
I'm about 6'4". Yeah. I'm a. Yeah,
you
yeah.
are. Okay. I'm sorry. We only met one time, but
6'5" with the tabbies on.
We were sitting. You've got long legs, probably.
Yeah,
huh?
no, I'm actually torso guy. But it could have been
Me too.
It could have been my clothing choices. I wasn't wearing my lifts. I think you had your boots on that had a little extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not stupid.
Yes.
I see what you were doing. You were trying to intimidate me. You alpha me.
So, Chris, you're more of a longer torso, shorter legs?
Well, I mean, based on my pants inseam, I prefer like a 30 inseam for a no break look with the loafers. Which, if I had long legs, that wouldn't be possible, Jason.
Okay, I'm big leg, small torso. I'm big pants, tiny top. Twitter, and you are big torso, short leg Twitter.
You're shaped like a hot Depop
more
seller.
dwarf like.
Yeah,
Wait, say that again, Chris.
You're shaped like a hot Depop seller.
You say it like it's a bad thing. Big ass torso, head ass, little leg, motherfucker.
So I actually have like an ongoing. So I'm the only one in my family over 6 feet tall.
Congratulations, that's big. That's big.
But yeah, I mean, it's the first and probably biggest accomplishment of my life. My dad and brother were
hard work pays off, baby.
But I did do the stretching thing that Jordan did. You know, did you guys watch the Jordan video? He stretched on the chin-up bar. Come fly with me. You ever see that?
Yeah. So he would do that to try and make his body taller.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Or just as a good stretch. I do that. I do pull-up bar stretches every day, actually.
I think he read somewhere that would make him taller, so I believed him.
Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to get those ankle boots where I can clip the ankles on Richard Gere style and then hang upside down. But I know I will for sure get stuck or kill myself or have some type.
That's a Richard Gere thing.
They're in the movie Gigolo from the late '80s, where he plays a male prostitute. and romance ensues. But the opening monologue scene, he's doing a workout in his like penthouse loft in New York or whatever, and he has a pull-up bar. He's doing like these shirtless, like slow, sexy pull-ups, and then he straps on these like plastic ankle boots, and then does like a little somersault flip and hangs upside down. He's doing crunches and shit.
I think I've seen the GIF version of that.
Yeah, I mean it's an iconic. The first 10 minutes of that movie are amazing. Like Blondie, Call Me is playing while he's hauling ass down. It's actually in San Francisco, not New York, but the rest of the movie is awful, but great scene.
But let me just circle back real quick to what I was trying to say, which is not super exciting. But I went to the doctor yesterday and got measured for the first time in a year, 2 years, whatever.
And they measured everything, honey.
I have an ongoing like argument with my brother who doesn't believe I'm 6'2.5".
Oh, I love this.
And
I love this.
The doctor verified it. I got it on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Sent my brother the piece of paper. He's got all the other information about me that he doesn't necessarily need to know.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
you're 6'2.5", but we need to work on this blood pressure, bro.
Unfortunately, there are some other issues.
Yeah, but I am 6'2.5". Robert, if you're listening, now it's everyone knows.
Suck it, Robert.
I hope you made the doctor pose with the piece of paper to prove that it was not altered. You know what I mean? That it was 100% authentic.
Well, my brother, he immediately assumed that I bribed him, and I was like, if I bribed him, I would have bribed to be a full 6'3".
Yeah, totally.
Perfect crime.
Yeah, that is a perfect crime.
Yeah, we need to figure out a way to get a non-fungible height documentation that can.
That's a great idea.
Where the authenticity can be forever forged on the blockchain. You understand?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. What, do you and your brother get along very well, I imagine?
He's a teacher out in San Diego. He's one of the happiest people I know. He lives a very, very fulfilling life. He surfs. He hangs out with kids he teaches English to junior high kids. Surfs when he gets home, drinks a few beers, smokes some legal weed.
San Diego people are real happy.
Reads
probably
books.
eat some bomb-ass carne asada fries.
Well, he is married. He's married, but he's very happily married.
He's married, but he's very happily married. I want to be very clear that he's happy.
He's married, but he actually likes the chick.
Truly, like it's cool to see. I don't know a ton of people I don't know anybody who's as happily married as my brother.
That is nice.
That's like Cali Kush, baby.
It is the Cali Kush. I would agree, but I think that the how did he end up in San Diego? Was he just attracted to the lifestyle?
Frisbee golf?
He rode his bicycle from Vermont.
God damn it.
God damn it.
How did I end up in San Diego? I just went to Vermont and rode my bike there.
He did a cross-country bike ride to Napa. He got a job in Napa, did that for a year or two, teaching school, then got a better job in San Diego.
I've always been envious of these people who just do that shit of just like, I'm just going to ride my bike to Napa and go work on a winery and I'll figure it out as I go along. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And those people have so much fun.
They do.
Such a better life. There's just like a couple little chromosomes in their DNA strain. It's just like, oh, I don't care about this big block of worry that most of us have. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Unless they end up dead or in jail, they have a great time.
I think being next to the ocean has a lot to do with it for him. Being near a mountain kind of gives me that buzz, that vibe.
So Atlanta must be working out really, really great for you then. Lots of mountains there.
Whereas I need to be near a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
I do spend as much time as possible in North Georgia, and I spent like the first 5 months of the pandemic in Oregon. So I was actually in the mountains out in Hood River.
That's
Were
nice.
you there on assignment, or you were just randomly there, like house sitting or something?
I was house sitting in an incredible house. I'm actually going back in July.
Damn, okay.
House sitting this house looks out over the Columbia River Gorge. My girlfriend came, and we thought we were gonna be there for a month or two, and we ended up sticking around.
That's great.
Why not?
I feel like you've got it figured out in a lot of ways. I feel like this man is living a better lifestyle than me, and I'm a little upset, to be honest.
That's right, Chris. He gets to live a bit of a nomadic lifestyle while also having the key to the golden handcuffs of Condé Nast, right?
Exactly. That's the goal. Yeah.
That $300 stipend in my back pocket.
Yeah, he's rich with stipends. But I do think that but the kind of position you have, like, that exists there, but it's not super common. Is that true? Or is it more common?
Which position?
Like
staff writer?
Staff writer, but not having to cut, like, not being in New York, not going into the tower, like being able to do your thing wherever you are.
Yeah, how many people work at the New Yorker who, live in Georgia or live in, a faraway land?
Obviously, I'm the only one in Georgia, but I think I was the first in an experiment that's so far so good to try to like put mainly on like web focused writers who also contribute some to the magazine around the country and like make the New Yorker's reach a bit farther and like its focus a bit less New York centric, and to like do less parachuting in and more like organic.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit, and I think it makes so much sense. It's like, I don't know why, if there's something going on in a place, it's going to be better if it's written about by a resident than someone from New York who flies in for 2 days, does the research, and flies back. It's not going to be the same.
Right. And I've done my fair amount of like that flying in and out, and like I know the limitations of it, and it's I do cover stuff beyond Georgia, of course, where I don't have a lot of inherent knowledge of the area, but like even being a Southerner and going into like Alabama, North Carolina, like I have some contacts. It's better than starting.
It's a whole region, though. I feel like, and Atlanta being the metropolis of that is the best place to live, probably. For depending on what you're into, but you can go everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, ProPublica just invested in like they're doing the same thing now. They're just invested in a bunch of regional reporters in the Midwest and the South.
It's like the New York of Georgia, almost. Is that safe to say, guys?
Atlanta?
Yeah, it would be safe to say that.
I believe so.
I couldn't live anywhere else. I mean, the South, I could live in Charleston maybe, but I feel like it'd be a little too slow for me.
What did you think of your Southern road trip? Maybe you've covered this in previous podcasts that I haven't.
No, heard. Jason, what was your number one?
My favorite city in the South is Miami, but
Jesus. Wow.
No, I mean, I really liked hitting.
Can you name 5 cities in the South? I'm just kidding.
Chattahoochee, Tuscaloosa. I think maybe like I preferred North Carolina. Maybe, I mean, of course, Atlanta. That has the most going on, the most culture. Blah blah blah. I enjoy that the most. But I think our time in North Carolina, I liked it a little bit more
Asheville.
than South Carolina.
You liked Asheville more than Charleston or Nashville.
I did. I think that town had a little bit more of a vibe and energy that I was with. Charleston is just not for me. I'm just not that kind of person. They don't like me. I don't like them.
Oh, you don't like beautiful architecture and old money? I don't know how we're friends.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It was Charleston was a little too plantation-y. Yeah. It was a little too, just southern.
You're very close to the uncomfortable history of the South there for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're literally on top of
Asheville. Asheville is just like everyone is just like nice to each other. It was chill. It was cool.
It's too crunchy.
I just like the energy
It's too
there.
crunchy for me. It's too crunchy for me. But I like it there. I mean, I think it's cool.
I like a crunch. I'm a crunchy guy.
You don't know what crunchy is, bitch. You're from Orange County. You've never experienced real crunch.
Chris, you can in Asheville you can get like flights of kombucha.
I do. Look, in theory, and the first time I went there over the summer, actually, and our friends had moved there. And I was like, the weather was, I get the appeal. It's like very beautiful. And it's on the trail. So I know you're biased. But it's a little too crunchy, a little too fucking check out the brewery vibe for me.
But also driving around, like going in and out of Asheville, it's like these beautiful rolling hills and trees and forests. And you're driving through these magical little whimsical tunnels. And it felt like more of a storybook town. And then driving through South Carolina, it's like, there's like a KKK stronghold. There's an alligator eating a grandma. There's a tire fire.
That's true.
And now we're in stinky Charleston, where it smells like tugboats and oysters.
When you were talking about North Carolina there for a second, you were really channeling the data book author.
Wow.
The data book. Data book. You were on it there, man.
Torn from the pages of the data book.
Maybe Jason's more of an outdoorsman than I thought. I mean, I just don't.
I mean, I'd rather see a dream catcher on the door than a Confederate flag on the door. That's all I'm saying.
Well, look, no one. Hey, don't do that. That's not what. That is not what. I'm not disagreeing with you. Charleston has a more robust dining scene. Jason, the reason Jason likes Asheville so much is that we took them to Mellow Mushroom for the first time, and it blew his fucking little Orange County peanut brain.
I mean, I felt like I was home there. Wow. I felt like I was home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But isn't that based? That's from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, but it's pretty
Atlanta,
big in the South. But it's, as far as that kind of pizza restaurant goes, it's top tier, and it's delicious.
I'm a big vibes guy, and the vibes were strong.
Yeah, the vibes are strong. I think you did get a IPA flight at.
I naturally did get an IPA flight. You start at the lighter, and of course you head on to the thicker, dankier, chunkier ones towards the end. A real knife and fork stout.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying.
Are you a big sours guy, Jason?
Not big, but I like to tangle with the sour.
Only diesel.
No, I'm cool with the sour as long as it's not too gnarly. But yeah, it's crisp and refreshing on a hot summer day for sure. You got a sour rec?
No, I was trying to poke fun at you a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I feel like sours are for. I don't know what they're for. There's some
sours are for what? Charles, let's finish it up.
A certain kind of white fella that probably includes me.
Well,
I prefer a crisp Japanese lager. That's probably my beer zone.
Nice. Yeah, I like some Japanese.
I can attest that I've seen you put down some Japanese lagers in our time together.
Yeah. Pitcher of Sapporo, leave the glass. You know what I'm saying?
Charles, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to catch up.
It's been fun.
And I've been inspired to spend more time outside and to push myself physically, even though I'm older. I think that's my number one takeaway from this conversation. I don't know about you, Jason.
Get yourself some poles, man. Get some poles.
No, of course.
Yeah, get some poles. And Chris, we need to remember to take time to unplug from our MacBook Pros and get out there and breathe in a little bit of that fresh American air.
I agree.
If you guys want to include a link to the story I wrote about my frozen penis.
Please forward the frozen penis. Yeah, that's good. That's good for us.
Cold ass dick will be found in the show notes of this episode today.
But yeah, guys, you can find Charles on the NewYorker.com. He's also on Twitter.com. And anything else we should be looking out for, Charles?
He's on Instagram, but he's private. I'm awaiting my approval. Maybe it happened during our recording.
Have I been putting you on ice?
No. I applied for my application probably 45 minutes ago.
Okay, I'll check. I'll look at your shit before I.
Okay. I love the honesty with the vetting process. I need to tag you when I promote your episode, so I like to.
Oh, I'm in. I'm all about the promotion.
It's helpful for us to promote you.
He's back now.
Yeah. So you guys check out Charles on the NewYorker.com, New Yorker Magazine on Twitter, and on your local trail, of course.
Yes.
We appreciate you taking the time, Charles.
Yeah, thanks,
you.
Charles. We'll see you later, bro. Have a good one.
See y'all. Thanks. Bye.
What's in my pocket, dog? Big face Honda. I'm real disappointed. I'm what you didn't dare to be. I got plenty money. I got plenty